Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with day 2 of series 12 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life and our fun bingo game or challenge. And this is our sketch for today. The sketch is by Kathy Price, and I am going with the Mixed Media Distressed Edges Flair or Epoxy Pre-Made Title Rainbow line on the bingo card. And I am turning my sketch to the side because my pictures are landscape and the sketch has them as portrait. And so I have the Sun Chaser collection by Heidi. And so I've got the puffies. I have 2 sets of the ephemera. I have the card stock stickers. I haven't used much of this. I completely forgot I had it, and I think I've only used it for like 1 layout. And then I pulled out all these little circular bits because there are a lot of circles on this sketch, which I love. And so I wanted to use those, as well as I have my Circle Punch by Creative Memories to help with extra circles. My mixed media, which is part of my bingo, I'm going to use these Tim Holtz Distress Watercolor pencils, and I've not used them yet, so yay. And then I'm going to bring in all the other fun things that are on my bingo list. So I have my papers and embellishments. I have my mixed media and my sketch. So let's see how this goes. So I love this paper so much. The first thing I do is pull out the colors that I feel are in this paper. And I pulled out 4. I got Kitsch Flamingo. Y'all, bless my heart. Crackling Campfire, Fossilized Amber, and then Twisted Citron are the 4 colors that I brought out from this paper, because this is going to be my background paper, not what I'm coloring on, but that really cool watercolor paper. So I just take the watercolor pencils and scribble out all 4 of those colors, and I kind of integrate some of them here and there, and then I'm going to get my watercolor brush out and just go over everything. So I mostly stick with like the orange and the yellow together, and then I add a little orange up to the green so that it kind of mixes and blends together. And then I'm going to use my Creative Memory Circle Punch to punch out, I think I punched out 7 and end up using 6 of the circles. And I stick to mostly the orange and yellow, but I wanted a little bit of the pink, which is really light. But the other pink that I have is that picked raspberry, and it's very bright. So I was happy with that color choice. So I gut that paper because it's too gorgeous to waste, because that's going to be my background, and it's going to mostly get covered up by the white middle. And then I take that other polka dotted paper and I cut a like 3.5, I think that it's like 3.5 inches from the flat side to the corner. And then this white paper is 11 by 11. And I'm going to start building before I do anything. And after I get my picture mats down, I realize that corner goes on the other side because I'm turning my layout. Oh, so for me, sitting in front of me, I turned that sketch like on my iPad where I usually keep the sketch. I turned it so that I would quit having to like turn my head to the left and figure out what I was doing. Oh, bless my heart. So I'm just get all that on there and kind of how I want to lay it out, just to get an idea to see if the colors are going to work and if I like it, and tuck these little circles in to make sure that I like the way those look. And after I get that done, then I am going to start distressing my paper. So number 1 was mixed media, which I've already started with my mixed media paper or colored pencils. And now I am distressing my edges, which is my number 2. I tear 3 of the corners in kind of a curvy fashion, and then I take my distress tool from Tim Holtz and distress all 4 sides of the paper, minus that straight corner, because that's where the corner is going to be covered, and I don't need any extra bulk up there. So I just distress the rest. Now on the sketch, it's kind of curved out like a nice clean curve, and I think I love that. However, because I was distressing my edges, I figured tearing it would be even better. So I am just getting the idea for where I want to put things. And so now I have attached my pictures down, and I have attached my circles down, and I'm just going to start adding the embellishment. So the first thing I add is the circle up at the top that says Sun Chaser, which is the collection name. And I add that up there because obviously the sun belongs up in the sky, right? And then I'm going to move some things around right here so that I could put this title circle, which is surrounded in like a bronze, which is really pretty. It says, "You'll find me chasing the sun." I figure I could use that as my title. And then I'm going to cover just a little of the bottom part of it with this cutout circle. And there's a small itty bitty little hole above the picture between those two circles, but don't you worry. First, you can't see it from here, but I will get that covered soon. And so then I get the cluster down here in the bottom left done, and I add an orange and a lime because A, they're circular, and B, they're sweet, and the color obviously goes, and I love how it looks. I have a hard time with putting things on a layout that don't feel like they belong there, because obviously there's no lime or orange in the sunset or on the beach. But I'm working on that because I love the way it looks. I just have to get around why I would put, like a bicycle on a layout. There's no bicycle. So I'm working on that, you all, and you all are encouraging me. So I appreciate that. So now I am building the little humper border, which thank you, Sandy, for that terminology. But I'm adding that little half circle bit up there on that triangle, and I started it by cutting the the lime and the orange in half, and then I put the little puffy half circles up there too, and I love the way that looks. And then to cover that little hole, and because I wanted to put something there anyway, I put the little rainbow from the puffy stickers right there to cover that little hole. And rainbow is one of the things on my list that I needed to add anyway. Even though there is a rainbow of color on here and it probably would have been fine, I literally added a rainbow. So it is... then I have my flair from the Flair Hut that I added as well. I have an orange, a yellow, and a pink. And I just put those in each of the clusters. And then I work on the banners down here. And I'm sure that some of you might have been thinking, is she going to put the banners on? Because it's like the last thing I did before like the finishing touches. And so I cut those banners. I cut the first one that I liked. And then I lined it up with the other two, and that way they are identical for the most part, because I'm terrible at cutting those fishtail banners sometimes. They're very off and wonky. So if I can cut one right, then I'm going to mimic it. So I add some of those copper embellishments so that the copper is all around. So I put those 2 stars in the other 2 clusters. And then I add this word phrase down here. Well, this word says weekend down at the bottom. But my title is still going to be that "You'll Find Me Chasing the Sun." But I just like the way that weekend looked down there in that corner, kind of looked a little bare. So then I tap out some tumbled glass on around my clusters. And that is it. I love how this turned out. This sketch by Kathy Price is a lot of fun. You could do a lot of things with it. Change the circles to hearts or anything like that. Lots and lots of opportunity and, different things that you can do. And I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite parts about all this, is watching how other people take a sketch and what they take from it and what they change and what they adjust and if it looks just like the sketch or not. I just think it's so fun. So I hope you all are on the playlist and checking that out, because there is going to be so much inspiration and ideas there. So I'll be there every day this month. So I hope you will come and check all that out. Have a great day and happy scrapping.